Hello and welcome to this ad for a t-shirt. Two t-shirts. Sure, it says pre-order, but they're up for regular order now. So head on over to fastcustomshirts.com and along with those shirts, hundreds and hundreds more shirts. If you're listening to this garbage, you'll love the fine, fine shirts over at fastcustomshirts.com. Custom work too if you need some shirts made. Speaking of garbage, head on over. I was going to say fucking the same shit. Merp, merp. Head on over to dwnproductions.net. Masks, bus, props, custom work, fine, fine stuff for fine, fine people. Bink. If you want something made, hit me up and maybe, just maybe, I'll do it for you. Joe, welcome to what is sure to be a landmark episode of,
Milestone, some people would say.
I would say, a Shoshana-rific episode.
Hmm.
But that's just, you know,
Well,
I read a
do
few
that,
issues of Spider-Man.
and that's why I'm drinking champagne.
Are you really?
Yes, I don't have champagne glasses though, so I'm just drinking it out of a regular glass.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, opened up a bottle this morning,
Why?
so Lisa could have some mimosas.
I
So
see.
it was a bit of a cause for celebration. So last night I had, well, let's see, this weekend. Uh, I did a pop up. I did a market yesterday, and it was a very windy day. So windy that most people decided to stay home, including half of the vendors that were supposed to be at this fucking thing. But hey, me being me, I set up. I go out there. I did make a few bucks. God damn, that wind was just going all day, all day. I get home and I thought, man, I'm gonna drink tonight. Nah, I wasn't feeling too well. So I laid down and go to sleep. Lisa went off to one of her friends' parties. Then she went next door for a little while. She came home, and I guess she was watching TV on the couch, fell asleep there, and around four in the morning, she starts yelling and Joe, wake up, wake up! What the fuck's going on? I can't find Skylar. Like, oh shit, oh shit, So I go and look. It's a big storm going on. And when firecrackers go on, she hides in the shower. So that's the first place I check. And I go through every room, nothing there. And then she says, the side gate is open. Oh, fuck. All right. I get dressed real quick. Let me drive around, even though it's storming and I can't see shit. I got to do something. So I get in the vehicle, driving around the neighborhood. I take Skylar for a walk just about every morning. That's, well, let me just follow that trail. Maybe she's going down, that same route that we do. And after driving a while, I tend to forget, hey, the defrost in my vehicle doesn't work. So windows are fogging up. I have to roll them down, but that's no good because rain's just fucking pouring in. I go back, as soon as I roll in, Lisa rolls out in her car and she's looking around. Uh, I don't want us both to be gone at the same time because, what if the dog comes home or whatever? And it was just a, big miserable time for a couple hours. And then finally somebody calls, hey, we got your dog over here at our house. This is like 5:30 in the morning. And Lisa's like about to jump in the car. I say, hey, wait, where the fuck you going? She said, well, I'm going to go get Scott. No, you're not without me. Hold the fuck on. This, like, that's like a big robbery scam and shit, like, hey, come get your dog, whatever, or whatever, like fucking, kill you, take your car. So, hey, we can both go die. Um, so yeah, it was just a house down the street, and she gets the door and, like, thanks the people, offer them a little cash, and they don't want to take it. They were good folk. They were dog people too. And Skylar's just playing with their fucking dogs, having the time of her life, so we get her back, everything's calm. But today it's like, it reminds me of when, like when the kids were young, they do something real fucking stupid that's dangerous and you're worried as shit about them. But after that's done, after they're safe, goddamn, are you pissed? But wasn't Skylar's fault. I think it was my fault. I think I left the fence open. It's not been closing right. And I'm usually real good about checking it, but I don't think I did because I was feeling shitty. But yeah, that was stressful. But we got the dog back and fucking yeah. I don't recommend it to anybody. Like losing your dog in the middle of the night in a storm. I think she might have could have found her way home, but all the scents and everything are washing away in the storm. You can't see shit. Yeah. Yeah. Glad to have you back, Sky. So opening up the champagne to her return in a regular glass.
When you got her back, you didn't pull a Joe, did you?
What do you mean? Start yelling and like destroying everything around me and like
Beat the shit out of her?
no, I didn't.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Because I would have had to end this and call the police.
I was beating myself up on the inside, Tom. I was like, shit, this is all my fault. What a fucking, fuck. Can't do anything right. This is a big fucking mess. Just add this to one of my failures, my long list of failures in life. So yeah, there was that.
You have a list of failures? I just call it life.
Okay. Another thing I did today or this week is I did a spit take all over my monitor at the shop. And it's not even because I was, watching the DWN's terrible horror crap podcast and laughing my ass off at the hilarity. No, it wasn't that. I just drank some water wrong and hey. And then menus start popping up on it and shit. But I have a spare monitor. But yeah, it's been fun, man.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
It
I've
did.
had a dog go out and we've had to find him through the night and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's never awesome. So, oh shit, what do I do? Gotta go. Let's get him.
Yep.
And especially when you're probably drunk.
I wasn't last night, man. Luckily, that worked out in my favor too. It wasn't no, because I got home from this thing and went to bed. I was just like fucking tired. Took a shower and just like I laid down. No, this is what I did. I laid down, started watching a movie, and I fell asleep as soon as I started it. Woke back up, watched the movie, and then Lisa got back home from her party thing, and then I, went to the bedroom and went to bed. So yeah, I wasn't
You were drinking during the day.
I had like 3 beers at this thing, and that's
You
it.
had alcohol in your system.
Well, always for sure, but I wasn't drunk.
No, you probably shouldn't have been driving there, Joe.
No, the 6 hours had already elapsed. Remember,
No, it's
4 in the evening.
you got to have at least 24 hours straight with a couple bottles of water.
What the fuck do you know?
Not much.
No.
That's why I'm in the position I'm in. I fucked up in life, Joe.
But hey, how was your week?
It was another one. I was burnt out as shit making stuff for fucking Frightmare. I still got some stuff I got to paint. I just don't give a fuck. It's like, oh, no one's probably going to buy it. I already have fucking all this shit that's overflowing that's just going to sit there until I call it quits next year. But that's fine. I can shove it all up my fucking ass. That's cool. And there's a lot too. So get the DWN new memorial hat at dwnproductions.net. Get them while you can.
Yeah, and Tom informed me, I wasn't aware of this, but you don't have to wear the hat like all straight across like some skater dude or like some fucking depressive comic book guy or something. You can fucking bend that shit, and kind of like conform it to your head. So Don't let that scare you off. And the sticker that it comes with, the round sticker, the shiny ones that are on caps, you can take that off, which Tom did. All right. All right. It's like, oh shit, I didn't know he was a fan of the NBA. But yeah, okay, cool.
It's just, so that people are like, oh shit, still got the sticker on it. This must be a real hat. I did have them embroidered in the USA, if that means anything to you. So
Ooh. Yeah, probably the embroidery's gonna fucking, unravel and shit.
head
Made it.
on over to dwnproductions.net to buy a hat that'll fucking unravel and shit.
Made in the USA.
Mm,
It's a mag
embroidered.
sorta.
Embroidered in the USA. I would have to assume that the hat itself not constructed in the USA.
More than likely not. No.
And that's a shame.
Mm.
You know what would happen if more stuff was made in the USA? We would have more jobs and there would be more money to go around. But with more money, the price of everything would rise. So we'd be in the exact same fucking place we are now there, Joe. Oh, isn't life grand?
There's no winning this rat race, as they used to call it in the 70s.
Mm. I can't wait till next week when we start reviewing the Rat Race movies.
Right.
Luckily, there's just two.
I fucking like that movie. I don't know about the second one. I don't know that I've ever seen the second
We'll
one.
do a fucking Rat Race, Mousetrap, double feature.
All right. So while Tom is frozen there with that grin on his face, uh, I just want to say it's been great being on this show. This being our very last show, which Tom was going to announce later. But, spoiler alert. That's why I'm drinking champagne out of a regular glass. And Tom was either taking a very long pull or he's frozen again. I don't know. But he's all fuzzy. His fucking voice is just like, but what can you do? That's just this show. That's Tom's connection and stuff. You got to pay your bills. They slow your shit down when your bill has come due and come past. Yes. So
Am I back yet?
your voice is back.
Guess not. But I'm not.
Or he's got it or something. I don't know. Pointing his finger at the cameras. And yeah, this is fucking great. Now he's wiggling his finger. He's clearing up a little. Keep doing that with your finger. It's clearing up. There you go. Yeah. You're still not 100% clear, but at least your movements aren't all janky and shit. Yeah. Test, check. All right. He'll be editing this out, so I can probably say a bunch.
I don't know. It might look really cool.
Maybe.
And that's why we get all the hits.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. So anyway, Tom, on with the show, as they say in one business or another. But I'm sure you watched plenty of stuff this week, because you always do, Tom. You always do.
I try to. I like to have something to talk about. I just hope the internet holds up for me to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't, I don't like to watch a lot of shit if I'm not in the mood for it, And plus, when I watch a movie, I actually sit down and fucking watch it. I don't just have it in the background and just look back and okay. I give these movies my undivided attention so I can give them an accurate and fair review for our good listeners who are depending on our words of wisdom to guide them through this miasma of movies that are out there for their viewing pleasure or displeasure. So what'd you watch, Tom, or have on the background?
The chair faces the TV, you see.
Mm.
So I don't have to look over my shoulder.
You gotta look up then, right?
Yes. Sir, you are correct.
Painting,
And
slap and paint. Like slap and paint.
it's
Look up.
more like this.
Ah, okay.
Pretend I have a sponge in my hand.
Yeah, it's
No,
fun.
I'm just kind of doing that. You gotta do it faster if you gotta want to make some time. Can't
Back.
just do this. Come on, speed up, buddy. We need to make a Halloween's a happy.
Yeah,
It's
Steve.
a happy time. Fucking prick kids. Oh, if I could think of a way to put some kind of microchip in a mask to send kids' heads to another fucking dimension or some shit, I'd invest or think about it. Fuck. Should make that into a movie
Mhm.
that nobody will like. And then 20 years later, people will say, oh, I always liked it.
That was my
That
favorite
is
one.
great.
Yeah.
Fucking pricks.
Live.
So, Joe, I watched Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Hmm.
Probably about a year or so ago. I
Pretty good.
tend to watch that often. But I did watch a movie starring your boy, Samu Hong.
Demo.
There you go. Encounter of a Spooky Kind. Have you seen it?
You know, I don't think so. I thought I had, but then no, I haven't.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about it if you don't mind. Sit back, have yourself some of that champagne, and listen to old Tom tell you a story about this fat Chinese man with a hair lip. And he does like flips and rolls and shit. It's ridiculous. You didn't think the fat ones could do that shit, but they can, Joe. They can.
He's quite
So, and
a guy.
he is round.
Hmm?
So in this one, he's a their equivalent of a taxi driver. So he has a mohawk and walks around wearing a jacket shirtless like some kind of fucking dickhead. And I think they call them rickshaws there.
Hmm.
So he's taking some dude. They call him Master Tan. I don't know what the fuck he's a master of. Maybe fucking putting worms on fish hooks. I don't know. But anyways, he's taking this dude to a whorehouse. Like this is one of his regular customers that he's like, hey, don't tell anybody you're taking me here. I'm gonna be a mayor and I'll make sure you're well taken care of while I'm the mayor. It's like, oh, don't worry, man, you're cool. Get in there and fuck those whores, and I'm gonna eat some fucking sloppy soup or whatever the fuck he went to eat. So it turns out that old Master Tan is really fucking Sumo's wife. So not Sumo, the fucking Master Tan guy, he hires a sorcerer to do African American magic on old Sumo so they won't be charged with the crimes of killing the guy cuz you can't charge magic. So the sorcerer has a brother and he's a good sorcerer and he doesn't stand for this kind of shit. So he helps old Sumo out and says, "Hey, I'm going to teach you to be a fucking magic guy and then we'll defeat these fuckers and we'll all live happily ever after." There's some weird shit in it like they're fucking hopping undead shits fucking dumb. And I don't get it. Unfortunately, I'm watching Mr. Vampire next week, so that's gonna fucking suck a dick. The makeup and the depiction of the dead, I mean, it's okay. It doesn't look the best. It's like more a realistic depiction of like a mummified person and shit, sort of Italian zombie esque. But I mean, this fat motherfucker, he's like karate chopping people, doing flips and shit. It was crazy. Like all that stuff was cool. What's his nuts? Magic Cops in it, and he's doing karate shit. and there was actually like fireballs and that kind of shit that I was like, man, if these movies had fireballs and shit and crazy kicks, they'd be a little better. And this one did. And it was a little better with all that shit. You'll love it. A guy gets lit on fire on top of a podium, and then he fucking falls off and then fucking runs on the ground and shit. It's crazy. He probably has 19-degree burns all in his asshole and shit, but he did it for the love of Hong Kong cinema.
Mhm.
So the whole time the wife's living with Master Tan at his fucking castle or whatever, just waiting for this guy to die. Spoiler alert, fucking go a minute ahead or something if you don't want to hear the spoiler, because it's pretty great. Unfortunately, Joe, you're going to hear it. So, like, the whole point of this movie is fucking the black magic guys hired by Master Tan and the guy's wife to kill him so they could be together. So fucking old Samo kills everybody, and then the wife fakes like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you. He kidnapped me and raped me and and he's hugging her and shit like, oh, I know. Pushes her away. That you're a bitch and punches her in the stomach like 17 times. Picks her up, calls her a fucking slut, and throws her in the air, and then it freeze framed with her flying through the air, and then it says the end. It was fucking terrific and elevated the whole goddamn movie. It was just like, oh yeah, this is a better than average martial arts movie. I'm probably going to sell this Blu-ray when I'm done, but it was worth a watch. And then he smacked the fuck out of this hoe and threw her through the fucking air. Would recommend.
Not really bad things happen to women.
Oh, dude, it's the funniest fucking shit. It is very, very unexpected and would not be made in a movie nowadays.
I
Would
don't
I mean that's like the whole punchline to the movie, I guess. So you got to sit through this whole whatever movie for this shit to happen, but it was worth it for sure. Will I ever watch it again? I don't know, but maybe someone will be like, "Oh, I'm looking for something kind of. Hey, I gotcha. You'll love this." And Joe, you will.
All right. I will watch it at some point, though.
I'll sell you the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. You'll have to buy a region free player though. Can't sell you one of those.
Streaming somewhere. Uh, Tom, I finally jumped back into the box set that goes inside the mind of Coffin Joe and watched this. I had to take the slip out because, to show you the reversible art because it had this other one that I'm going to watch next week. When the Gods Fall Asleep. Ooh, this artwork's not very good. Um, so that other movie that I talked about last time, not last time, but the last time I talked about one of these movies, it was this, The End of Man, one with the that the translation just stops in the middle of the movie. And that was the one guy that appears naked and he's just walking through the streets and blah blah blah, and he's exposing this or that, and he's like a Jesus type guy, right? And at the end, he walks back to the asylum that he came from, and that's the whole twist. He was a crazy man, showing that we're even crazier as a society than this crazy man. Okay, well, in this one, he's in the asylum. It's a direct sequel, just a couple of days later, and he hears the news. The news is saying, "Oh, shit's gotten bad," blah blah blah. So he breaks out of the asylum again. How? They don't show it. That's not necessary. And then we switch to guy is fucking a chick in a barrel. You know, like the ends of the barrels are off to where their legs and heads are sticking out from both ends, and he's fucking her in the barrel.
Oh, hey, can you help me? I got stuck cleaning out this barrel.
But yeah, that's what he does. And then he goes back. He tells, "Hey, go ahead and tell your man that I did this. I fucked you in a barrel." And she's like, "You bastard!" And so it turns out this guy's like a leader of a gang in these Brazilian slums. And that was the other gang's woman.
AKA Brazil.
Yeah. And I guess in Brazil, that's the worst thing you can do to a woman is fuck her in a barrel. So it's even more degrading to the gang leader whose woman was fucked in a barrel. So, they're going to get together and they're fighting. They're like, blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of shitty looking fighting. And then there's a kid sitting there watching. And all of a sudden, the kid disappears. Somebody took the kid. And like the fighting stops, and let's go find this kid together. And they do, and there's a not Coffin Joe. His name. This is what the fuck?
Basket Mike.
Finis Hominis, End of Man. The other movie. That's his name in this, and in that one too. But anyway, the kid's there laughing, playing a little fucking I don't know what he's playing, an accordion or some shit. The recorder, whatever the fuck kids play. And he's just happy, and the gangs are like, oh, we came together for this, we should be united all the time. And Finis Hominis, his work is done, he walks off, the gangs are good. Then we see like a satanic ritual, some witchcraft, and this goes on for a long time. They're just dancing, drums are playing, and then a disclaimer comes out and it says, "Stop now if you're very sensitive. You may want to leave the theater," and blah blah blah. This is based on real life, and they all start carrying chickens, and one dude starts biting the chicken, and he's eating the chicken live. And I don't know if this was real or not. It was a Brazilian movie. It probably was. And yeah, that's whatever. And then they're going to sacrifice a lady, and then they're in the graveyard and all these people gather around. They're going to like just fucking cut her head off or some shit. And there's old Finis Hominis. It says, "Stop." And they're like, "Oh, you're the Masonic figure. Yes. What do you say we do? Satan requires a different sacrifice. Oh, what does he require?" And he points out the three leaders of it, and they're like, "Oh, no, there is no Satan. We just, blah, blah, blah. We were lying." So the people turn on them. So he's exposed the Satanists as charlatans the way he did the Christians in the other movie. Then we see some gypsies out in I don't know, their little encampment, with their little wagons and stuff. And they're all partying too, because there's about to be a wedding. This tribe leader says, "Hey, you're gonna marry this guy," and she don't want to marry him. She's fucking this other dude, and this guy's fucking this other dude. It's all everybody's fucking, and then it all comes out, and they all start knife fighting and everything. And here comes old Finis Hominis and says, "Hey, people should marry who they want to." Hey, everybody cheers, and then we cut to the asylum, and the asylum's like, "Hey, we were getting a unknown sponsor, that's keeping this asylum alive for food and stuff, but those checks have stopped coming. It's like we might have to close down this asylum." All right, back to old fucking Brazil, and there's this I thought it was a club, people were there hanging out, and I guess it is a club. There's couples there, and what they're doing is waiting for a room to open so they can go fuck in it. It's not quite a hotel, but it's just like, hey, you're waiting for a fuck room, to open up. Once somebody's done, everybody rushes, and fights are breaking out. Chicks are fighting, and here comes old Finis Hominis, And I don't know what the problem was here. People, like, nobody was being forced against their will or anything. They were all there, to do some fucking. But he does his little hoodoo, and the women drive out all the men. I don't know. He fucking goes back to the asylum, and they're like, oh, get him back to his room, before we have to close up anyway and set him on the street. And oh, Felix Homeless turns to the doctor and says, oh, sorry, this is late, and hands him the check, Tom. He's been the anonymous donor all along. Oh, the end.
Sounds pretty cool.
Fucking sucks.
No, it sounded pretty good.
But you don't have to watch it because you've heard it here. All right. And this movie's only 82 minutes, I guess. And I think it's shorter than that. But god damn, all those scenes of the dancing and the singing or whatever and the shitty fighting, they go on and on. And I'm like, fuck. Constantly checking the run times. Like, how much is time elapsed? God damn, not enough. It's grueling, man. It's not a good movie. Not a good movie at all. Yeah, if he's not playing Coffin Joe, I really have not given a shit about this guy at all. I glanced at the titles, the special features, and didn't want to watch any of them. Again, it's more movie people, discussing parallels to this shit or that shit that I don't care. I don't care about any of that, especially this movie. This is just dumb hippie bullshit. Yeah, I get it. We're all fucking in the asylum. I get it. The inmates are running the asylum, as they say.
Well, you said, oh, there's a lot of fucking.
No,
And then they were fucking here, and they were fucking there, and then they had this fuck room set up. Was there any sucking going on?
I'm sure they didn't show what was going on exactly, but yeah, that's par for the course, I would think.
Yeah, I just found it weird that you didn't say,
Well, because it's understood. You're in the room. It's like, hey, doing what we want. This is our fucking time in here.
We gave them the $3.
Yeah.
We have our 7 minutes.
Whatever they charge there in Brazil.
The 7 minutes in heaven fuck room.
And I don't know. Rupees. Yeah.
Ruple.
Yeah, all that shit.
Some kind of soon to be extinct Russian money.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like now. I'm sure it's still like a lot of slum areas, but Brazil don't look like a good place, But they were making movies.
I'm playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Like little fat white American kids who were too fucking doughy to play football. So all their parents said, oh, well, we got them in a sport. Let's get them in soccer. And then it's all just a bunch of fucking Bobby Hills and everyone's laughing. Ended up hanging themselves and shit.
Oh, maybe we pick T-ball.
I used to play softball.
Bet.
No. I played baseball for one season and was asked not to return because I would throw the bat after I hit it. And it was very dangerous, you see. No, just place it on the ground. I just whip it fucking behind me and take off as fast as any fat kid could take off.
Playing as you run the bases.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, fucking kid's laying in the background with his fucking head cracked open, his memories leaking out.
Hey, that's a risk. His parents signed that release form, man. They're not responsible,
Mm-hmm. Good old days.
Hmm?
Hey, Joe. What? Oh, shit. Joe just went to fuck off island. So I'm going to take a sip of this beer and then go get another one myself. And you know what you can do? Look at or listen to absolutely nothing. Season 6, Episode 6, The Bribe. In this one, it starts out with the intro, if you can believe that shit. And then the Crypt Keeper's there, and this is the one where he's dressed up like Uncle Sam, and he's doing a Richard Nixon impression. It's not the Crypt Keeper doing a Richard Nixon impression. It's just John Cassier doing a Richard Nixon impression and the Crypt Keeper doing it. I forgot which one I complimented it on, where he was doing the Crypt Keeper plus another accent. I was like, oh, yeah, good for him for doing that shit. But this was just straight up Nixon. Mojo Nixon, that is.
I am not a corpse.
Yes. Whoa. What the fuck just happened? Oh, okay. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but I guess Joe hit something.
I didn't even touch the thing. I got my style down here. I don't know. He was just complimenting my impression skills. That's what it was, right?
Maybe. So this one, it stars Terry O'Quinn as a father. And Benicio del Toro's in it. He's like the number 2 in charge of a strip club. So this one starts out with a strip club. You see a lady dressed up like a devil, and she exposes her very, very firm '90s boob job tits, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is some dated shit. And then Terry O'Quinn walks in, and he's the new fire inspector. So he goes and talks to the manager or owner of the place, and it turns out that the owner has naked pictures of his daughter or some shit. And Terry O'Quinn walks in and he says, hey, these pictures, they're my daughter. And he shows them to him. He's just like, oh, yeah, I've been there. And Benicio del Toro's in the background, like, yep, pardon me. So, anyways, fucking the stepfather, he's like, listen up, punk. I'm the new fire marshal. The last guy, you bribed him with money and children. I don't go for that shit. I'm gonna fuck you. You're on my dime now, bitch balls, and I will fuck you. He's like, whoa, hey, let's talk about this. He says, I will fuck you. And then the stepfather goes home, and his daughter and her boyfriend, they're having a scuffle. He's like a Letterman jacket college guy, and she's Terry O'Quinn, the stepfather's daughter. And they're just fighting, and the guy leaves, and the daughter's like, oh, he's a bastard. Blah, 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 blah. And Terry O'Quinn's like, what's going on? Did he try and fuck you? No, I got kicked out of school for fucking something. I can't remember if they said what for. Who gives a fuck? Doesn't really matter. Oh, I got kicked out of school, and he said that his parents won't let him be with a slut that isn't in school. He's just like, oh, well, that's not good. I'll let me try and raise the money, get you some money to pay for this college, because she was on a scholar. She lost her scholarship, I guess. That was it. Scholarship was paying for it. Terry O'Quinn's like, oh, let me get some money together. And daughter's like, oh, don't even bother. It's more than you make in a year. And I was like, shit, I want to go through the screen and slap this bitch in the mouth. I can see why this motherfucker left you. You're an asshole. So Terry O'Quinn's all broken up about it, because this guy was, the best thing that ever happened to her, even though he kind of treated her like a piece of shit. And he said, oh, yeah, the guys at the strip club, you might think that they're, dildos or fucking scumbags, whatever, but they never treated me like this. So fucking, he goes back to the strip club. And he says, give me some money. and I'll look the other way. I gotta pay for my daughter's college. So he gets the money and brings it back to the daughter and says, "Look, now you can go back and keep blowing that guy with the Letterman jacket because you'll be back into college. He's the best thing that ever happened to you. It all worked out." So then, old stepfather, he goes and sees the fucking nut who lives in the attic, who happens to be a pyromaniac. And he says, "Hey, you should go burn this fucking place to the ground." So he does. He lights the strip club on fire. He thought it was on a day that, because Terry O'Quinn told him it was on a day that no one would be there. But they were having a party, a private party, Joe. And it turns out a whole bunch of people were there and a whole bunch of people died. And the owner of the club, he's like half burnt up on a gurney, holding a fucking necklace or a bracelet that Terry O'Quinn gave the fucking daughter. Oh my God. This was a party for my daughter. That means she's dead because of me. And then he goes home, shoots himself in the head, and then the phone rings. Answering machine picks it up. "Oh, hey, Dad. I didn't want to tell you this over the phone, but I went to Mexico and got eloped. I'm married." And it's like, "Oh, look, she married Benicio del Toro. It wasn't the other owner guy. Oh, I can't believe it." And then this went on for like 5 more minutes, even though the punchline already happened. And that's when you wrap all this shit up. Tales from the crypt. He's there back in his Uncle Sam shit. He being the crypt keeper says something about sucking dick and we're the fuck out. This is another lame one. I can't believe it, Joe. I can't fucking believe it.
So did the stepfather have his little Dean Koontz mustache going on, or?
No, he was shaven.
Okay, classing it up a little.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's going to be on HBO. They weren't on HBO at this point, right?
No, it was. For some reason, at the beginning of season 6, it never happened before, but it always says home box office presents and then fades into the sort of on any of the other DVDs. Fucking dickheads. Just to warn us this season sucks too. Think fuck, it's almost over.
Mm.
Yeah. Would not recommend, but I would recommend you check out the Boy God podcast if you liked whatever the fuck that was. Drops Monday on YouTube or at boygob.com. And I would mention the other shit, but I'm sure the ads played before this. Then I'll just cut to the one at the end. Tee hee. Tales from the crypt. Just kidding. I only had one.
But you got another movie, because I just talked about a movie.
Fuck. Hey, Joe, you ever see Creepshow?
I've seen it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
It's pretty good. I would say it's almost great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best anthology horror movies I've ever seen.
So tell us a little bit about Creepshow. You see this one in theater?
Well, no. Well, did I? No, I didn't see this one in the theater. I guess I must have seen it on HBO or some shit the first time. The movie channel, I think, is what we had back then. But yeah, I liked it from when I first saw it as a young lad.
Is that because you were a little juvenile delinquent kid growing up in the 50s reading horror comic books?
It was my innocence was being seduced, you see.
Damn, he got Warthamed.
Hmm?
Fuck, it's almost as bad as getting pecked.
I wouldn't go that far. But
Whoa.
yeah. Yeah. Tell us all about it, Tom. Even though we've talked about this movie on this show many, many a time, it always bears repeating, I guess.
Yeah, now we'll have a clip of it, so we'll never have to talk about it again. So in this one, it's a I guess Steve McQueen and George Romano, they wanted to get together for years and years and years and just have cinematic sex with each other to produce a baby known as a movie. And they finally did with George A. Romero presents Steve McQueen's Creepshow. And the wraparound kind of framing device is Tom Atkins finding out his son's a little bitch ass reading comic books, and he doesn't take too kindly to that.
Look,
So yeah, he finds him reading these horror comic books, this horror crap, if you will. And his son's just like, hey, it ain't any worse than those books you keep in your drawer with those guys pissing on each other. And fucking his dad just hauls off and smacks him right in his fucking cocksucker, knocking all his teeth loose.
yeah, that's just the vibes. And you know what, Tom? That's why God made fathers.
Is it? Shit. I thought that was a little far, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just not that old school, Joe.
You're not.
However, I am an old fool. That's so cool. Anyways, back to the story. So what's his nuts? Old Tommy Atkins throws the fucking rubbish into garbage, the comic book, and that bitch blows away. And so I guess he's a fucking litter bug too. And we start seeing live action recreations of the stories from the comic books. The first one being Father's Day, which would you
Let,
believe it if this is the best one, Joe?
let me go on to say that none of these stories were adapted from the Creepshow comic book. No, Tom, this one went the other way around. The comic book adapted the stories from the movie. Hmm.
So in this one, an old bitch is mad that her dad called her a bitch, so he bludgeons her, or she bludgeons him to death with a fucking ashtray. And every year she drunk drives to his gravesite just so she can sit at the foot of his tombstone and mock this old son of a bitch. However, on this fateful Father's Day, he comes back from the grave to
Oh,
get his cake.
because that's why God made fathers. That's why God made fathers.
To bake cakes. Yeah, this one's good. This fucking old lady being all drunk, talking like a foreigner. You bitch! You called me a bitch! It's fucking terrific. Makes me laugh every fucking time I see it. And then fucking Ed Harris and his wife dancing like a couple of fucking assholes. Terrific. Fucking terrific.
So,
Uh,
Tom, been like at a family gathering and like a couple just decides to put on a music, like an aunt and uncle decides to put on like the radio and start dancing just there, them two.
I don't think so, Joe.
Yeah, I just didn't know if that's something white people did or whatever. But continue with the review, Tom. So that was entirely fabricated then.
Yes, it might have been. I mean, those are like rich white people.
Oh, right, they're different.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What's the next one? Oh, the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill. This one is about 12, 15 minutes of Stephen King making fun of people from the South, just all buck-toothed and dim-witted. So if that appeals to you, is this the segment for you? The thing I always remember about this one is a behind the scenes thing, is how I mean I'm gonna say allegedly, But I mean, this is stuff that was told to people. Like, we were told this in college, you see, that Steve McQueen, wink, King. So I'm not gonna fucking, I don't know what the fuck Steve McQueen was doing, but Stephen King was supposedly so fucked up on blow that they couldn't do the life cast, and that's why he looks like a green Chewbacca. Like, they had a fucking makeup and like some cool shit planned, but he's all fucked up on blow, so we got fucking a fuzzy Muppet looking guy. But that shit where he's fucking blowing his head off and just saying, "Let my luck change just once." It's fucking awesome. The rest of it, highly offensive. But that shit, pretty good. Hashtag cancel Steve McQueen.
Um, yeah, I think his performance in this is great. I think it's spot on. You know, fuck yeah. What do these backwoods hillbilly sons of bitches know about meteors? Not a goddamn thing. You know, they just see dollar signs. You know, if something falls from the sky. You know, hey, maybe we can make a buck off of this. You know, that's the way they'll. You know, so yeah, it's fucking great. You know, and
Not just $8, but $200, and keep 'em coming.
this definitely corresponds to the time when he was using, you know, he will admit that he was using quite a bit, you know, so I'm sure he does not look at those times fondly, aside from all the money he was making.
Oh, the shit where he's fucking making himself so a fucking whole pitcher of screwdrivers and he just stirs it up with the empty bottle. Fucking terrific. Excuse me.
You see, back to drink a lot of liquor, you know. Go back and look at the early days of the show, and that was old liquor Tom.
Sure was. Oh, seriously though, folks, I'm gonna delete all that shit so you can't listen. But I got a question. What the fuck actually is Ripple? I think that was a little before my time.
Um, yeah, it was something that it's like a real cheap type of liquor. There was a Ripple and something called Muscatel.
I'm not asking about Muscatel. I'm asking specifically about Ripple.
Right.
And is rum Ripple the same thing?
It was hobos and let's see, what was
Macy's, apparently.
hobos and African Americans that would drink a lot of Ripple. It was referred to a lot on the show Sanford and Son, if you ever watch that, or and also the show Good Times. Tom.
And also the show Archie's Place. I don't want any of those Ripple drinking. Technical difficulties. That show sucked. All in the Family's pretty good though.
Hmm.
Oh, rest in empowerment, Eden.
Fucking opened a bar. What the fuck was that? Anyway, yeah.
Oh, speaking of old honkies, the next one, Something to Tide You Over. Starring, I was gonna say Ed Gale, but that ain't his fucking name. It's Ted Danson and fucking Leslie
Old
Nielsen.
buddy man named Leslie.
Oh, it's fucking not. There's, I mean, there's a few dudes named Leslie, and it's always fucking weird.
Hey, it's a girl's name.
It is.
Hmm. They might as well just name you Judy or something, you know?
Who else is in this one? What the Galen Ross from your favorite, Dawn of the Dead.
Hey, if
She's
you guys listening and your name is Leslie, sorry for all the beatings you must have taken in school and shit. You know, that had to suck, but blame your parents, man.
you got anything for the lady named Galen?
Kaylin, Jesus. God damn. Gay,
No.
there's guys named Gaylord. That's their first name. You know, I think you have to be like British aristocracy, but still, Still, come on.
I think she's an old Pittsburgher there, Joe. Your old stomping ground. Anyways, Joe, that was something to tie. Wait, we didn't even fucking talk about it. All right. So Ted Danson is nailing Galen Ross, and Galen Ross is fucking Naked Gun's wife. So
What?
Naked Gun comes to Ted Danson's fucking apartment, and he's just like, listen up, you cheers fuck. I know what's going on. And if you ever want to see my pussy again, you'll follow me. He said, hey, TV's a little fucked up. Should get this looked at. Okay. So they go to the beach and there's a hole dug. And Cheers is like, oh, you fuck. I'm going to hit you with this shovel you left here like a fucking idiot. And Naked Gun says, I'm a naked gun, boy. Don't do it. Get in the hole and kneel down and get ready to suck it. Just kidding. My name isn't Galen, but seriously though, get in the hole and kneel down. What were you gonna say? You were looking enthusiastic about that shit.
Nail down? What? No,
Yeah.
Leslie. It's Les for short.
So old Naked Les tells Cheers to nail down before us all. And he says, listen here, you fuck. Start scooping that sand back into you. So he buries himself alive except for the head. And fucking Naked Les is all just like, oi, mate, the tide's coming. I hope you can hold your breath, you fucking prick kid. So then he gets a TV out and he's like, oh, he's a TV repairman. That's why he wanted some work before he killed me. So old Naked Les turns the TV on and it's old. What do you think we can call Galen for short? Oh, I know. So old Lynn, we see her and the tide's crashing in and oh, she's drowned and I can't believe it. And then old Naked Les says, ha ha, and drives away, leaving Cheers to have his fucking nose pinched by crabs and his lungs filled with the kiss from the sea. So old Naked Les goes back to his fucking beach house or whatever the fuck this kind of person lives in. And he's watching a live feed going, ha ha! And then he starts feeling bad about it. He gets a little, oh. And then he goes and takes a shower because, after a day of murdering motherfuckers, your balls are going to stink. So you got to wash them hoes and wash them proper. But right as he's scrubbing his left nut, he hears a noise and he says, Meals, Dios! And fucking Cheers and Lynn, they come back, but they're waterlogged zombies that look like they've been waterlogged for fucking months and months, even though it's been maybe an hour.
Hey,
And old, what?
sorry to interrupt you, but
Don't you ever try that again.
could you do your waterlogged voice for the audience here? That's pretty fucking good, Tom.
Thanks. That was all cum. Thanks, Riley. So, anyways, old Naked Les pulls out a pistola.
Tyler, real quick.
So, Naked Les tries shooting them, and he shoots them. They bleed and shit, but they don't die because they're already dead. And then they fucking Naked Les kisses the sea and tales from the crypt. I mean, it's all right. You can see this shit coming a mile away, even if I haven't seen this movie more than 20 fucking times. It's okay. Like, it's kind of The novelty of seeing Ted Danson and Naked Les like in something that's not comedy or Cheers or something that's but kids today, I don't think they give a fuck who those people were. They'd be like, "Oh, it's the guy from the insurance commercial, or it's trying to sell you Medicaid, or whatever the fuck he's doing now with his extremely white hair, Joe." He looks like he's seen a ghost. Looks like he was a ghost because he was. Ooh. So, what do you think about this one, Joe?
I dig it. I mean, it's like what's his name, old Les. He's like a sleazy fuck, but he's kind of justified. You know, they were fucking around. You know.
He's not a sleazy fuck. He's just a nut, and he says he's a fucking nut. So he
Uh,
doesn't really do anything that's sleazy.
no, I dig it. You know, it's his performance is real good. Like most people just know him like you said, the Naked Gun, but he did a lot of serious shit before he struck it big, I guess, with the Naked Gun movies. Um, yeah, he's fucking great in this, you know. Oh,
Jonah, let's go on to your favorite, The Crate.
oh, the Crate. Go ahead. You fucking watched the movie. I didn't.
So in this one, uh, not the guy from Reanimator gets a call. He's there's some fucking college. This centers around some college, some dickhole uppity university,
Miskatonic.
and so this happens at good old Mescue. And there's a party going on for all these teachers and shit. Uh the leader of some science division, or maybe he's the superintendent. I don't fucking know. But he looks like the fucking dude who gets his head cut off from Reanimator, but he's not the dude who gets his head cut off from Reanimator. So not Reanimator gets the fucking call from a student or some shit. He says, "Ooh, I'm gonna suck your dick, daddy." He said, "This is a man. I'll be right there." So he fucking goes and he says, "Just kidding. There's a fucking this crate. It's a janitor." A janitor calls him. So the janitor's saying, "Oh, just kidding, but I knew that was the only way to get you down here. Look at that old crate that fell, or that look at that old fucking crate that's back there, god damn it. Now look next to it. Yeah, that's a quarter I dropped and fell back there. I was hoping it'd be okay if I could pry this loose so I can get my quarter back." He's just like, "Oh, that's all right." So they pry it open. They say, "Wait a minute, this crate's old. There might be doubloons in it."
Hmm.
So they carry what?
Boogerands or whatever the German fucking gold was called.
That's right, Google rips.
Mm-hmm.
So they crack open this fucking crate, and I guess it's supposed to be an abominable snowman. They don't really say, but it's like an Arctic beast. So it's some kind of fucking midget looking fucking super ape monkey platypus fucking thing.
Kind of
I
mute
don't know.
orangutan platypus combo. Yeah,
Something because it has
yeah. The
the large. That's
man
right.
mandrels. Yeah, yeah.
So
Remember villain from Marvel Comics, the Mandrill?
I do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like that. You know what? Now I'm not as impressed with his design as I used to be. Huh. Go ahead, Tom.
So Fluffy the Mandrill starts eating motherfuckers, and not Reanimator's like, "Man, this shit's crazy. I gotta go call my boy, Hal Holbrook, and see
Oh,
if he can help me with this, and
fuck
see
yeah.
even more if his drunk ass bitch of a wife will show everybody your knockers. Let's hope so." What? Not in this movie, but it happens in every movie. The hell's going on here? Anyways, Yeah, it's a monster in a box. It's just eating motherfuckers. His wife's a fucking dickhead, so he gets the monster to eat his wife and fucking Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, it's pretty good. It goes on fucking long. Like it's probably the longest one there, and it could have been cut down some, but it's still cool. It feels like a whole movie in itself, which drags the rest of the shit out, especially when the next one I don't find very good. But I mean, Fluffy's cool. I always remember this being like a lot gorier than it is, but it's really not. It's just the people who saw these movies and were inspired by these movies. They just made so much more gorier things. It's like you look back and who gives a fuck? This one's pretty good.
So that monster is called Fluffy. So
Yes.
who is Raoul?
Raul is the skeleton that we didn't talk about at the beginning
Okay.
that's outside the window.
All right. Yeah.
And I guess it's not supposed to be the same one from the TV series, even though it probably is supposed to be the same one, but they don't call him Raul. I think they just call him the Creep.
Mm.
So now you know.
All
So
right.
the last one, what the fuck is it? I got roaches in my dick hole.
They
And
creep
this
on you.
there you go. So in this one, E.G. Marshall's a real cocksucker and he's just a piece of shit businessman. Uh, he has a phobia of roaches or something, and then roaches explode out of his dick hole. I'm not 100% sure what the fuck's going on here. Are these roaches real? Is he fucking nuts? Did the lady on the phone fucking curse him? I don't know. They don't really explain too much. It's just, yeah, it's the last one, and it's kind of weak. If bugs don't freak you out, probably not gonna get anything out of it. But old EG or Eej, as Joe calls him, he has a couple good one-liners, but in the end, it's just fucking roaches busting out of a guy's dick hole.
Yeah. I think E.G. Daily is really good in this. Um, yeah, he says some funny shit, and yeah, I dig it. I mean, at the time, like when I first saw it, roaches used to freak me the fuck out. So, and I think they do most people, and that's why, like, hey, let's just overload this shit with roaches. So if you were watching it in a theater back then and that was your fucking fear, like roaches or whatever, and you're in the fucking dark, you're gonna start feeling shit on you. You're gonna, hey, whoa, what the fuck, So I'm sure it was like a lot more effective watching it like that than
And the song was popular at the time.
yeah, yeah,
You know what song?
yeah.
It's
I do.
from your people.
Shake, shake, shake your booty.
No, that's from Joe's apartment.
Mm.
Yeah, I would say the standout of Creepshow would be the lighting crew.
Well then,
What?
well then, say it.
Shout out to the lighting crew of Freak Show and all your gels and all those fancy little mats and shit that you made.
See,
Uh,
here it looks good, and here it makes sense. They're doing this shit for. They're not trying to be arty like fucking Dario Argento, like, oh, or the fucking Mario Bava, let's fucking throw a blue light here for no fucking reason. Here the lights correspond with the sound and with the effect that they're going for. It's kind of like because they're making an EC Comics movie, really, and there's a panel where like, and there's no background. Johnny Craig or whoever the fuck was drawing it like would leave a background because it's just their expression. So
Johnny Cage.
this is them using the lighting to really fucking drive that shit home, and it's badass. It works well, much better than those Italian fuckers did.
But yeah, it's a solid movie for me, just like the first Sin City movie. the shit that's really fucking awesome in it is really fucking awesome and raises the movie as a whole and makes up for the stuff that I don't really care for. But I mean, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think that's a bad score. I would say 10's great, and it's almost a great movie. So I think that's pretty fucking fair. Oh, and then the end, what's his nuts? The kid clipped the voodoo doll send away out from the comic book and starts sticking pins in it, and his dad goes, "Ooh, ooh." Probably could have done something a little better than just that. Maybe fucking oh, and then blood starts shooting out and his head falls off, or fucking something. Like leave him with something, you know, like oh shit, not just oh.
Like
But
cotton
again,
his mouth and shit, right?
no, I don't. Did he? I don't think so.
No, that's what they should have done.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know.
And that's that's why it got a 9 instead of a 10.
Okay.
Watch the third one instead.
Or the TV show. Fuck.
You said you liked that shit. You were all about it.
Oh, I did not say that. I was watching it,
Dude,
but I
you were
was not.
saying you were about it, and then you were riding around the streets on a fucking crotch rocket saying, "Woof, woof, woof," rough riding and shit. I remember that. I remember those days, Joe. Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at? That was you.
I'm trying to remember the barks from the Goosebumps theme now, and I can't think of them.
Woof, 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 woof.
Fuck yeah, that's it. That's some good shit.
Showing my age.
Oh fuck.
You know, it's fucked up. I was listening to something today, and fucking Amalgam is almost 30 years old.
Amalgam, the comic shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. They're releasing a couple omnibuses. So I'm going to pick up the one with all the one shots in them.
The speed demon shit like that.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck about all their crossover books and all that shit. Just give me the goofy shit, dickholes. Lobo the Duck, Man Bat, or Bat Thing, whatever the fuck it was.
That thing, I think. Yeah. Iron Lantern.
A lot of good stuff.
I don't.
You know what else I saw when I was fucking looking at that shit? They made a fucking Justice League versus Kong and Godzilla, like a recent fucking book.
Yeah.
That'll be here Monday.
And I'll probably go stop at my LCS, as they call it, and see if they have that creature from the Black Lagoon comic.
I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, it's got like a special fucking Alex Ross cover, and it looks real fucking good. And I'm a mark for that shit, so we'll see. I don't know. Those omnibuses, though, that's a fucking deal. Rather than hunt down a lot of that shit, they put some out that I want. But it's like, well, maybe after fright myself, but right now, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an investment, but this is a pre-order for August. And they don't charge you till August, so
Yeah.
I got the time to save that money up.
Yeah, I forgot which one I ordered. Like, it was one of the Swamp Thing deals.
Then you forget about it and it comes in. Fuck!
What's this heavy shit? What? Let me check my bank account. That's another thing that happened this week, Tom. I had to, both of my cards within days of each other were compromised, and hey, they had to be canceled, and I had to get new cards and shit.
At least it's not a pain in the ass.
Yeah. At least there's that.
Oh, fuck.
I watched a little TV this week and last week. I watched the Fallout television show.
Hell yeah, you asked me to watch that shit.
So, you know, we've talked about like our favorite video games, and Fallout 2 for me is always at the top of the list. That's the best game I've ever played. Uh, and just the Fallout games in general, they have a lot of lore, they have a lot of, shit that you expect from every game. So when they're making a TV show of it, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be a picky fuck, and plus, when they're doing adaptations of video games, they usually suck, Tom. I mean, you watched the fucking what was it, Twisted Metal,
I watched a handful of episodes. I think I watched the first two and then the last one.
Season 2 coming at you. I think they're going at you.
Oh,
So
Captain America's in it.
so
Hell yeah.
um the thing is, I don't fucking binge anything.
Yeah, right. You're the fucking OG binge drinker.
Okay, well, there's that. I'm talking any medias. I don't binge media or whatever. But and I didn't with this, just like an episode a day if I have time that
I
day.
don't know. Something's telling me when you first got the Spice Channel, all that fucking 39 years ago, you called into work.
Which one was the Spice Channel? I don't
I
remember.
don't know. Wasn't that like the fucking porno channel for cable or something? I never had the shit.
Yeah, they never.
That was just all the things at the Spice Channel.
Remember, I lived in Corpus Christi, so a lot of the channels that were fucking national, we didn't even get them out there. It's
No, I don't think it was like it was like a special order channel that you had to get. It was like the fucking whack off channel or whatever the fuck.
okay.
Okay.
Um,
We should go. Hey, wait, I still got a couple, maybe about 40 minutes or so to come up with our next series. Maybe we'll do a little deep dive into the Spice Channel.
yeah. Did they have made for
I
Spice?
have no fucking idea. I just know there was a thing called the Spice Channel, and it was like the fucking porno channel, supposedly. Or it was fucking the Curry Network or some shit, but I'm pretty sure it was used for whacking off.
It's for whacking off.
Jerking off.
Okay, so this fucking show, it is about.
Start again so we don't have to do all this whacking off to Spice World talk, Joe. God damn. They were a group of young lady singers from across the pond just trying to make a buck in America. Spice up your fucking life.
Man, they were good. Um, okay, so Tom, I watched a little TV this week, and well, last week too. This show dropped that I had a little interest in because it's based on my favorite video game, which is Fallout. When we did
Oh,
our
hell yeah. You asked me to watch that.
I did. Well, I didn't ask you. You said, "Oh, watch it." Um, because I'm such a fan of the games, I was a little apprehensive. We'll see. Video game adaptations have not had a good track, and whether it's in movies or television or whatever, I don't think I've watched a television show based on a video game yet. If I have, it's fucking been so bad it escaped my memory. I know you watched Twisted Metal, right?
Fuck, I think I watched the first and second episode and then the last.
Yeah, what Halo TV show? I've never played those. I shit about that. Uh,
You ever watch Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm?
the TV shows, no. I've seen the movies, and they've all just been
I mean, the first one is a fucking 5 out of 5. So you can go jump in a lake for that shit.
Jump in a lake. I've done it before. Uh,
Damn, Southern boy.
that's right. So yeah, this if you've never played the games or whatever, this is what the show is about. There's a
Let
community.
me ask you something, Joe. You play games?
I'm not playing games when I'm talking about this fucking review, Tom. This is the real deal here.
Sorry, dog. I've been
So
drinking.
it's about these people that live in a fallout shelter, big fallout shelter. And they have these fallout shelters throughout the United States. It's like, hey, you could buy into this. You can get into this fallout shelter, and we'll live down there, and we'll create our society. And then once everything's cleared up, once all the war is done up there, we'll go back up and rebuild society. Well, the war's been
Isn't
over,
it that easy?
huh?
Is it that easy? Wouldn't they have wars in there with their own society?
Nothing's ever easy. In
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So yeah, because you got the human factor. Shit's always gonna go wrong, right? There's always gonna be different people deciding different shit. You're always gonna have this or that or whatever. Even if you hand pick, like, hey, we only want the best and the brightest. Well, fuck, those are people too, and people just suck. So this girl is gonna get married to somebody from another vault. A connecting vault. Her husband to be comes in, but it's not them. It's fucking raiders, Tom. And they kidnap her dad, who is the overseer, the leader of this fucking vault, and they take off with him. So that's the crux of this series: is she's going out into the world to find him. And then you got this other storyline going on, because up on the surface there's a militant group called the Brotherhood of Steel, and they wear this armor type shit, and they go around just fucking shit up because they got the firepower. And it's
You
about
know what I was told? Power armors for pussies.
fuck yeah, it is. Tell you this, in the games, I've never worn that shit. That's bullshit. Like, I'm gonna join the fucking army. I would do this in real life. Not gonna do it in the game, Tom. Can you imagine me in any kind of fucking armed forces? Shit, they would have fucking locked me up like right away. This guy's a coward. Um, so yeah, so it's a story about that guy, and his dilemma. He really wants to be a power knight, but he's also like kind of disagreeing with shit that the way they run things. And then there's a ghoul bounty hunter. Because in this game, fuck, there's been nuclear war. Some people are mutated and shit. And ghouls, unless they take this fucking medicine that eases up the radiation, they'll continue to fucking deteriorate and go feral or whatever, because there's some called feral ghouls.
Who
Uh,
makes that shit? Pfizer or Johnson and Johnson?
Probably Pfizer. Johnson and Johnson, I think they did make it initially, but they're in court for it because a lot of people got blood clots and shit. Um,
Shit. I thought it was pussy hole cancer.
so so yeah, that's the story. Okay. And in like comparing it to the game, like how they've adapted the game, they did a really good job. I mean, the game is quirky and it's fun, and this shit is fun too. A lot of it's not serious. Um, if you're a fan of the game, I think you would dig this. And I asked a lot of people, hey, if you haven't seen this shit, watch it and let me know what you think. And most of the people like it. Most of the people dig it. Tom doesn't, I guess. Look, he's shaking his beard, his slight, one to the side beard. Uh, but yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was fun. It's only 8 episodes, so it's not a big investment. And yeah, it has all the elements of the game. There's a lot of nods to the game that you'll like pick up on shit if you've played the game for like the past 20 years, like I have. But that's not essential to liking this. It's got its storylines that I think appeal to everyone. It's good shit, man. It's good. It's funny. A lot of CGI, but I think it all looks good. It's like, hey, how come this shit can't look this good in like the fucking Avengers or something like this? Like they did this one scene in this episode. That shit I hate where they hit somebody and they fly up against the wall or something. They
Oh
did
yeah, it's just pretty cool.
they did that to this one dude, and you know what happened? It fucking knocked him out. He didn't just get up or fucking roll over and start fighting again. Uh, yeah, man, I fucking dig this. It is not for you, Tom, because it's fun, and I don't know. There's just not women are the main. There's a woman that's like learning and
They're all tied up, getting smacked around and in danger. I understand you loved it, Joe. I
like
get it. Women were getting raped left and right, and you couldn't fucking stop watching.
empowerment kind of thing, Tom. You fucking hate women. You like them
I
getting
love Savage Streets.
times, and getting thrown. But I
Shout out to Fat Sumo.
definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
I fucking didn't. I did not. But it sounds like you got caught up in a case of, I love this shit. I love the games. Look at that. That's from the game, and that's from the game. So that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
There's definitely that, and that's why I was asking other people that haven't played the game what they thought. Because like, hey, is this just me being the fan of the
Yeah, they
game?
said, yeah. I saw the replies. Everybody, it was just yes. Some of them left a period, some of them didn't. One guy said, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them liked it. What do you mean?
or is it just me being in love with the game? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do
it
love.
was just that.
No, they didn't even reply to that.
I know they didn't reply at all. I'm sorry. Fuck. Chris Holmes, shout out to old Chris Holmes. He replied. Pretty much called you a fucking prick. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to drive down there, we'll fucking smack the shit out of it. I can't. I'll drive you down there to do it though. And while you're doing, I was like, dude, I'm sorry, he's my friend.
No, you better not, Tom. You've been drinking. Um,
Well, then I'll just let my dog out and hope it rains, and then I get a free pass to drive around drunk.
hey,
Isn't
what
that right, Joe?
bricks on some fucking rabbits or something? You fuck.
There's a fucking rabbit that's been around the last couple days.
It ain't around no more. It's only got one.
No, I just seen it a couple hours ago, and she's seen it, and the neighbor dog's seen it. They know that it's there. She got a fucking duck and a duckling the other day. It was fucked up. Lori, turn this off right now, and then I will wave my hand when you can listen again.
Hey, but if you like fun, check out Fallout. Uh, Definitely a good, entertaining watch. And it's got a little bit of intrigue, just like the games do. Not everything is all it seems. Especially with the people from the fucking vault, they always suck. So yeah, I liked this show. I liked this show. Hey, excuse me for fucking liking something. You know what? Fuck all y'all. Let's hear about Tom's rabbit story. Shit, yeah, that's what you tuned in for. Rabbits, you
So it
know.
was ducks.
Yeah, turn this shit off now because he's gonna.
And I should say, in the Fat Sumo movie, they did kill a couple chickens. When you brought that shit up, I was like, oh, fuck. Fat Sumo did that shit too.
Yeah.
They like cut a chicken's head off with a meat cleaver and they were just flinging blood all over. And I'm pretty goddamn sure they exploded at least one. I don't know if the M80 went up its ass, but at least one chicken definitely exploded.
And I'll tell you, ain't chicken parmesan. Tom has no interest.
So the other day, I'm sitting in here painting or standing, I don't know. And Lori runs in. Oh, you gotta come out here. Yeah, no shit. Oh, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Oh, you gotta come out here. There's some ducklings in the garage. And what? There's some fucking ducklings in the garage. So it's like, fuck. So I go in there, try and get the ducklings to the other side. One of them runs out into the fucking street. And then fucking Lori grabs the other one, lets it go. That one fucking runs away. It's like, great, good job, Lori. They'll go find their fucking mom, and everyone will live fucking happily ever after. So the fucking next day, I fucking, do my routine, get everything going, and then start doing my laps around the yard. Oh, fuck. There's a dead baby duck. God fucking damn you, Riley. I guess I'm gonna pick this fucking shit up when I'm done walking. So then I walk to the back of the yard. Oh, guess they don't have to worry about finding their mother. I'll throw this in a trash bag when I'm done walking. That fucking dog, that fucking predator prey instinct, it is very high. It's cool with fucking people and all that shit, but any animal lower than, it's just fucking, and she's like a goddamn bullet too.
Wait,
Ridiculous.
cool with people to be predator prey? What the fuck are you talking about, you sick?
No, I mean, like, she's cool with people. She doesn't fuck around with people and
Oh,
shit. But like that predator and prey drive that animals have with the shit that's lesser than them that they think is prey and shit, she's
I get you. I thought you were supporting serial killing and stalking and shit like that, you know.
fuck yeah, that's me swinging a hatchet.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
a terrible weapon to kill.
Serial killers! Used to take the hat off and do this. Like the hat was a hatchet. Fuck yeah. Remember that?
Riley, you do your thing. That's your property. You fucking live there.
I mean, that's what dogs do.
Right.
And while Joe goes to, I don't know, probably make sure the lady he has bound and gagged hasn't fucking died, I'm going to say head on over to dwnproductions.net. Check out my masks, bus, props, custom work, all that good shit. And then head on over to Fast Custom Shirts, where you can check out Joe's t shirts that he designed all by himself. Wink! And if you need some custom shirts made, hit them up. Let me look at my list and see if I have. I do. Holy shit. I got two more movies. Continuing down the old Dirty Harry path, I watched the third one, Dirty Harry 3, The Enforcer. Something I should note about Dirty Harry 2 that I didn't on last week's episode. There's a fucking hilarious scene with a bisexual threesome. There's like this big fat drug lord, stereotypical guy, and then he's got a young girl and a young man in his bed. They're all probably fucking and sucking each other. And then the fucking, I forget who comes in, but some son of a bitch comes in and just blows them all the fuck away. And then the lady, she falls out of a fucking high rise window because she's all fucking shot up. And then they show the dummy falling over the fucking railing. And it smacks its head on the side of the building, just making everything look all fucked up and weird and unnatural. It was hilarious. Sorry, I was in a bad mood last week, but watch Dirty Harry for that scene because anytime a dummy falls silly, I always fucking laugh, and I blame Married with Children because if somebody liked to use shitty dummies, it was Married with Children. So the enforcer, this time, old Harry Callahan's back. And he has a lady partner. And who are they going against in this one?
Old Time Daily, I think is her name.
Old Time Daly, the mayor of Chicago. Good old Mayor Daley.
Yeah, from Cagney and Lacey.
Ah, yes, old Cagney. I remember him.
Played the lesbian one. I've never seen the show, but I'm
Old Naked Les.
fairly certain that's who she played.
I wish I could remember what the fuck this was about, but I remember liking it as much as the first one. It's better than the second one. There's some more squibs and gore in this one. So I mean that was just like, oh shit, and it kind of had like more of a black exploitation feel to it. I thought this one was pretty good, but so far they've all been pretty fucking solid. Like I said before, I thought how or what's his nuts, Clint Eastwood was just like your typical Hollywood fucking actor. But no, these are pretty fucking good.
It's a good
And
Reddit post about these and decided to give them a fucking chance, Tom.
no, I forgot what the fuck came about on this one, but yeah, just out of the blue, I just like maybe I should watch these. I hit old Steve up and I said, "Hey, the Dirty Harry movie's worth a fuck." Oh
Even
yeah, I like them.
3 years ago, yeah.
Did you watch these 3 years ago?
3 or 4, yeah, because I got the Basis had bought me that box set of Clint Eastwood movies.
Man,
But
you should have talked about them when we were doing video.
it doesn't have the drowning pool in it though. Like they fucking stopped at
I think
this one.
it's called. I know how much you love that band and Bodies Hitting the Floor, but I think it's called the Deadpool.
Oh, that's fucking horrible.
That's all right. We'll get to that one next week or the week after.
Hey, maybe now I'll be able to sell those Dazzler comics.
Probably not. Shit. Did you watch anything else there, Joe?
No.
That's real good there, Joe. That's real good. Because I watched the hit motion picture, The Boneyard. Have you heard of it?
Is this the Snoop Dogg one?
This is not the Snoop Dogg one. That is Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horrors or Bones.
Ah, I'm thinking of Bones. Yeah.
Yes, this is The Boneyard. This is early 90s, 90, 91, somewhere around there, starring Ed Nelson, Norman Fell. I hope he's okay. And Phyllis Diller. This one is about
Is that
uh,
Philip the cover?
this is, in fact, Phyllis Diller's dog on the cover.
Hmm.
So this one, a lady gets psychic powers after going through 2 years of radiation treatment for her ovarian cancer. And she's able to find out what happened to murdered kids and locate their killers and the bodies and all shit with her magical radiation powers that she got. So she's living like a fucking hermit piece of shit because, of course, with great power comes great responsibility, and it's just tearing her apart. And the police come knocking. The veteran police officer named Jersey, and the rookie officer that we'll just call Rookie Joe. So they say, "Oh, we need you on this case. We got these three dead kids that came in, and the guy who was running the local mortuary funeral home or whatever, he held these kids captive and was he fucking feeding them human flesh. Oh Christ, I can't believe it. And there's all kinds of black magic rituals involved. This was like a family funeral home, and he was keeping the spirits at bay doing this shit or whatever, but he had enough, turned himself in, and now all hell's breaking loose, I guess. So the cops and the lady, the psychic, they go to the morgue so the psychic can look at the kids and, do her psychic thing to figure out what the fuck's going on. And then fucking undead shit, zombies,
Hold on a
crazy.
second.
Sure.
Okay, so she's a psychic and she's
Yes.
the minds of somebody that's dead?
to find out like what happened, when that was like the thing when psychics were helping cops like figure out murders and shit like that.
No.
What that was a hot thing for a minute. Was it real? Probably fucking not. But for a minute in the 90s, that were late 80s sometime,
Was
that
this
was the thing. What?
just in the movies though, right? Like on fucking
No. I mean, I've definitely seen this trope a few fucking times
like
before.
it's shit like that. But yeah, okay. But I don't know.
So, like, she's fucking doing her psychic shit, trying to figure out what's going on. And then monsters and zombies and shit all happen in this mortuary. And it's just a spooktacular yet fun time. There's some real creepy shit in it. Like, there's a scene where the lady passes out and has a dream about a dead girl that she couldn't help or couldn't save or something. And it's just really fucking eerie. But then it has some fucking humor about it and shit. And I think it's good shit. I think it is a very solid, fun movie with a lot of cool monsters and shit. You won't like it because it doesn't have anything to do with fallout shelters or nuclear weapons or anything of the such. But it's a good unseen monster movie that it's got some real fucking cool shit in it.
I'll let it remain unseen, Tom, because yeah, it sounds fucking stupid as shit. But hey,
I know you don't like fun things, and I understand. No women are getting beat; they're not tied up, and I don't want to go anymore because you're into some things that we can't talk about on here. But it's okay, Joe. To each their own. But if you do like fun monster movies,
I
make
don't know.
sure you check out the Boneyard.
I like dogs. Dogs is my best.
Damn, that's fucked up.
But you got a fucking movie you're watching where some dog's dressed up like a whore. That's kind of fucking. I don't know. I don't want to watch it just based on that fucking cover art. But hey, whatever turns you on, Tom. Fucking bestiality shit. Hmm.
Watch it for the horde dog. Watch this movie that Joe deemed this dog was too sexy to see. It's fucked up, Joe. And
Yeah.
now I know why you needed to go out and find your dog so bad, so they couldn't link the DNA evidence back to you.
This is one of Tom's Spice Channel favorites.
I always used to watch this as a double feature with the Boneyard and Eddie Torres, the extra testicle. It was good stuff, hot stuff. A whacking good time. I performed at whacking once. It was just me cranking off while I watched the Boneyard on stage and a bunch of confused foreigners finally going, ah, when I came. And then I bowed and walked off.
He's a psychic jacker.
That'd probably be a fun movie to make.
Well, write that title down before I forget.
I will not.
Okay.
So you said you didn't watch anything else?
That's what I said.
All right. Talk about your pervert movie.
What did we watch? Oh, okay. So, continuing our deep dive into the work of Mr. Bill Milling. I hope guy's name. But anyway, this is the last movie we're covering from him so far. So we may come back, we may circle back to him depending on what Tom picks next. And this movie was called Body Trouble, but I guess on when it went to VHS, it was just referred to as Joker's Wild. This is about a guy that is a screenwriter, and he's out on an expedition with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's dad, and they are treasure hunting in the sea, and so they dive down, and he finds this golden cross or some shit worth a lot of money or whatever, but sharks come. Sharks show up and like, oh shit, he starts drifting down and he's like passing out and dying.
Sharks always fuck everything up.
They do. They're fucking. They're kind of dicks. They're assholes.
We learned you are deathly afraid of sharks, but rightfully so because we don't belong in the ocean.
Right. So if you ever see a shark on your property, just fucking kill it right then and there. Let the dog go after it. It's fine. Harm them before they harm you.
Alligators too. I don't give a fuck what people say. Oh, you gotta protect. No, fucking alligators are monsters, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So anyway, the stepdad says, "Hey, shit, sharks got him. We gotta go." And starts the boat up, and they take off. And the girl like, "What the fuck? That's my boy. Nah, we gotta go." And so the guy, they left him a lifeboat just in case he popped up out of the water, and
They didn't. She did. The dad couldn't give a fuck.
so he pops up out of the water, gets in the boat, drifts to like some fucking island.
We didn't see it, but he like busted his other air tank loose. And he just shot up to the surface. That was his last fucking hope to, because his arms weren't going to make it, and he was running out of air. So he decided to use what little air he had left to rocket propel him to the surface and hope he doesn't catch a case of the bends, which thank God he didn't.
That's pretty good. Tom knows his shit when it comes to diving. That's for sure.
I am a whale.
Oh shit! Rest in peace. Whatever his name was, Brandon Ruth. So yeah, he gets to shore, and a lifeguard comes, gives him mouth to mouth, and they fall in love. And he decides, fuck it, I'm gonna move to New York and do stand up. You just got some kind of want to do stand up. You
remember what Jesse Jackson called New York?
No.
He wants you to forget.
So he's doing stand up, in a, I don't know, a casino. Do they have casinos in New York? I didn't know they did. But his brother comes to visit, and his brother is an innocent. He doesn't know shit about life in the city, so he doesn't know people for some reason. Tom.
Jesus was Jewish. That's my dog.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh shit! I shouldn't have called him my dog, knowing you. Probably gonna try and do things with him. Fuck. Sorry, J-Man.
So,
watch out for Joe.
They gamble a little. They win some money, but Frank Gorshin, who was the Riddler in the Batman show, he says, "Hey, that's my fucking money," and the guy from the last Bill Milling movie, the Karate guy, that's his fucking.
Fuck yeah! I forgot. Old Mexican Karate Man's back. He's the best thing in this movie.
Nobody fucks with him. But anyway, Priscilla Barnes from Three's Company is there, and from Stepfather 3. I think she was the male woman. No, she was the girl that he was married.
Female.
So she wants him to come and help her set up a club in the Bahamas. So they do. They go hop on a cruise ship and
because she's under the impression that they run the casino.
Right, Tom. And so they hop on a cruise ship and they're going to the Bahamas. She starts fucking the dude, and old Frank Gorshin, he's there too, and so is a Mexican karate dude. And it's weird, it's got like this things.
Dude, there's so much fucking shit going on in this goddamn movie, they don't even fucking know.
Right, it's got like a dream logic to it for some reason. It's odd. But anyway.
This was just fucking this guy. That's what happens when you're just making a movie to make money.
He
You're
killed
just checking boxes.
and and is gonna get arrested for it, but Frank Gorshin's body's not there, and like they get to the island, we find out this chick's about to get married, and she's a Black Widow type. She's like hooked up with all these dudes, and they all think, hey, we're gonna kill the other dude, and then we're gonna get all the money. And one of the main dudes that she's gonna marry in Black Widow is the guy that fucking left him at sea from the first scene. Dick Van Patten from Eight is Enough. This guy sucks. He's a terrible, terrible actor. And he like acted for fucking decades. He was in shit. And I don't know why, but anyway,
Like what? Give me 17 things he was in.
this one, IMDb him and he's fucking there. It's too long a list for me to remember. It's a bunch of shit I haven't seen, Tom.
I'm on my phone right now, Joe.
Got a fucking iPad and all the fancy shit. You got a fucking Palm
I
Pilot.
have whatever the Amazon version is from fucking years ago. And if I turn it on, I'll get notifications for 3 days.
And so yeah, then it's just a bunch of hijinks of like, hey, we're trying to
Don't
kill.
say hijinks. Hijinks fucking, lead you on to think that the shit's funny when nothing in this fucking movie's funny.
I don't know. There was a few lines that I cracked up at that I thought were funny, Tom.
Go to
Uh,
hell, boy.com.
Not funny enough to recommend it. Yeah, the movie fucking sucks. But yeah, like Tom said, it was made to make money. At least the people working on it thought it was being made to make money. But I'm sure the studio knew it was going to lose money, and a lot of times studios make movies just for that purpose. I'm sure this was one of them. It's, hey, we're just going to make a lot of shit out there. Some of we're going to take a loss on it, but that's going to balance out, our profit sheets, and that way our taxes are like this or that. That's the way it is. There's a lot of movies done like that, Tom.
Yeah, and I mean, that sucks. I I watched this movie so fucking long ago. I think right after we recorded, I watched it because I
Oh,
wanted to get it done.
hold on. So, because you threw me off on my whole fucking Fallout review, which sucks, and I don't even want that one done as a fucking separate thing. But Eric Estrada is in that. Yeah, he's got a fucking little role. But anyway, Tom, whatever nonsense you were gonna say, go fucking back to that.
Yeah, it's movies for perverts, and if you enjoyed any of this guy's movies, you're a fucking pervert.
Herbert, was it that got you off? Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't like it. I thought it was a fucking lame movie made specifically because if they checked boxes, it would wind up on VHS, and they did, and it did. It was trying to be funny. Like it was doing its damnedest to try and be funny. But again, if you're watching a comedy and that's just not your thing, it's fucking like pulling teeth.
So the thing is, at the end, it turns out this whole movie is a dream. He was, his stepdad or not stepdad, his girlfriend's dad actually pulled him out of the water, and he didn't drown or was about to drown. Didn't get abandoned there. I don't know. That's why it
It's,
had dream logic because it was
it,
all, he was.
oh, so they were smart after all.
Hmm?
At least it wasn't fucking something stupid like they were all high on PCP the whole time. Crisp. So you got anything left to say about the booby trap or whatever the fuck this was called?
No, not really. I'm aside from Caged Fury, which I thought was pretty fucking good. I'm not a big fan of Mr. Milling's work.
And you didn't bother to look at any of his adult work?
No, I haven't had time to watch much of anything, Tom. But, and I could give a shit, about watching this or that for the purposes of a podcast. I'm quite busy lately.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What do you mean you're sorry to hear that? That means I'm doing well.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
With fucking 4 or 5 movies in a week, that means yeah, suck at work.
That's right, Joe.
So what else did you watch, Tom?
Hey, Joe.
Hmm.
I'll tell you this.
Exactly. So they drop nuclear weapons in Fallout every once in a while. It just, it's like, oh shit, you got to get out of that area before that fucking nuke falls. Good
Let me ask you this, Joe.
time, is it?
My
Oh,
stepdad, he was a fan of this game, and he had them all for the computer and shit, and he would just play the fuck out of these. This is back in the day.
Leisure Suit Larry's?
No, Fallout.
Oh.
And there was some like bottle caps for pop or some shit.
Hmm?
What's that about?
That's currency.
Ah, really?
Hmm?
It's kind of what I thought. That's lame. Hey, what's this shit about? Oh, exactly what you thought.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Did he?
So they don't produce this beverage anymore.
So he was a gamer?
I wouldn't call him. Not. He liked that game. He liked that series.
Okay.
Yeah, he liked that series. I'll say that. He played it fucking a lot though.
Yeah. The second game I've never finished because it's so fucking big. There's a shitload of side quests, I guess. If you wanted to and just go play the main mission, you could probably finish it. But there's so much going on that game, which that's why it's my favorite one, because it didn't fucking baby you. It's like, hey, you can pick up this shit, you can pick up this shit, but then it's gonna say, hey, you're carrying too much shit. But it's not like later games. It's like, no, that's it. That's all you can carry. This fucker's gonna let you pick it up, and then you start walking. Hey, you fucking just broke your ankle because you were carrying too much shit, and you're fucked. There was a lot of shit like that on it that made it real impressive. You could drink beer, and you'd be fucking drunk. Hey, you're shooting a gun, but you're fucking drunk, so you can't aim properly. It was cool shit. It was, subsequent games were still fun, but it wasn't that. I don't know that. I don't know fucking what word I'm looking for, Tom. It just didn't have all those elements to it.
I mean, you liked it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would go
It's
back,
just-
even though it's old. The turn based, where like you click, like, hey, I want to move these 4 squares over here. It's that kind of game, but it was badass.
just a
Yeah.
little too big for you to handle.
Of course, now it's like I got a family, man. I'm not gonna just fucking sit around and play video games all fucking day. I'll
Why not? They are.
wait till everybody goes to bed. Yeah, that they are. That's prerogative. Oh, they're fucking young. They don't, know shit about what you should be as a person. With relations and like fucking being considerate to others.
Well, Joe, as much as I just love the work of old Mr. Millingsley, and you were right, you did slop us on with some fucking shit.
Hey, the DWN's terrible
It's not. It used to be.
but it's just about shit movies, you know. And I'll tell you this, dude, these are movies that nobody else is fucking reviewing, you know. What do you want to do? Fucking Dawn of the Dead or shit like that, you know? You want to review, I don't know, something that everybody's reviewed tons and tons of, like Creepshow? You want to fucking do the Creepshow? You know? You know what I'm saying? Do something fucking different.
It's a good idea, Joe. So we're going into the summer movie season, and you know they say Jaws was the first summer movie blockbuster. You ever seen Jaws, Joe?
Never.
Never?
Ever even heard of it?
Oh, it's the shark movie Steven Spielberg made.
You said it was what? Hold on, let me read. Jaws?
Jawllz.
Jaws. All right.
So yeah, it was. I guess they made like 4 or 5 of them.
Hmm?
These were made, I think, in the '70s, or the original one was, and from decades and decades going forward, people said, "Ah, Jaws got 'em. Sharks are the ticket. We need to make a shark movie." So, Joe, we're gonna go to the source for all things shark movies, and that's Tubi. So what I did is I typed shark into Tubi, and I picked 4 random shark movies, Joe. So we're going to start out with Noah's Shark.
You know, no, this is good because nobody out there is reviewing shark movies right now.
That's right, Joe.
He even has like whole fucking podcasts dedicated to shark movies. But yeah, fucking good.
That's right, Joe. And then we have Snow Monster versus Ice Shark. And then, Joe, we have Post Apocalyptic Commando Shark.
Oh shit, that sounds pretty good.
And then we will be rounding it out with the classic Jaws of the Shark. And as stated earlier, these are all on Tubi. Joe,
Well,
I can't wait.
hey Tom, just remember you picked these.
That's right, Joe. That's right.
That's right.
So let me ask you this, Joe. You like comic books?
Not this week.
Oh, shit. Well, before we swing into another amazing issue of Spy, no, I'm kidding. I already did the shit. Tales from the Crypt. Take 2. Season 6, Episode 6, The Bribe. In this one, can't believe it. Starts out with the intro. Something about sucking dick and we're out. Oh. Hey, Joe.
Hmm.
Let's hear about this extra bullshit you read that you absolutely didn't have to.
Marvel Team Up Annual number 2. Spider-Man's teams up with the Hulk, and they fight the Soviet super soldiers who have been duped once again into thinking they're fighting for their country, but it's somebody that's just fucking them over. These guys, every time they're used in a story, this is pretty much how they're used. Okay, and then in Marvel Team Up number, I don't fucking know, Hawkeye and Spider-Man's fight Mr. Fear, who uses a fear gas. So I don't know. The funny thing is, in the beginning of this, Spider-Man's like he's swinging around and he sees Hawkeye running, and he stops and is like, "Hey, what the fuck's up, Hawkeye?" And Hawkeye's just scared like a bitch, and it's funny. Um, Spectacular Spider-Man is number, I don't know, 90 something, whatever. Spider-Man's teams up with I think his name is just Goliath at this point, and before that he was Black Goliath, and before that he was Black something else. I don't about black like gro- real-
Going Stan Lee, it was probably Black Beat Goliath.
well, Tom, his name was Black Lex Steel. Uh,
Well, Stanley, you made an Asian girl named Shashan and made sure she was always drawn Asian.
hmm. Can we use that?
I specifically because we're this as spoiler alert, Shashan's mentioned in this issue. So I said, fucking enough of this shit. So I just Googled Shashan in the quotations so it would just get those two words together. It ain't a real fucking name. Everything that came up was just Spider Man. Every fucking thing.
um,
Yeah, I was at the Orient once. Yeah, they kept saying Shashan, Shashan.
well, you
Fuck,
see, Rob,
fuck him.
when I was in the Orient, and there's a big fan base for Marvel there. Yeah, fuck that guy.
I call them Orientals.
They were fighting Meteor Man, not Robert Townsend, but this Marvel character villain named Meteor Man, and yeah, the whole thing sucks. The whole thing sucks. But
Were they fighting that other Townsend who got in trouble for shit on his computer?
no, they weren't fighting
Uh,
him. Uh, Amazing Spider-Man's number 204?
that's right.
204. Okay. We've got a guest penciler on here. Keith Pollard, who is usually pretty good when he has a good inker. He doesn't have a good inker here. Uh, what the fuck's this about? Nothing really. It's
Yeah,
about
it is. It's about the black cat
Black.
trying to steal the lovers.
She's stealing the golden love, and that's a statue of two people fucking. Yeah, so she busts into a museum to do that. Old fucking Spider-Man's is swinging by at that time, and he's like trying to stop her, but she's got her bad luck power, that fucks him over somehow. I don't know. And subplots, whatever. Spider-Man's is like real fucking horny because the only chick he's been going out with is this sissy girl. And I don't mean that like it's a sissy girl. It's like that name, Sissy.
What
And
is a sissy girl?
he's been in the Marvel Team Up book. And they've, like he's been dating her. And her dad was a Russian scientist. And that's why that whole fucking thing with the Soviet super soldiers. Anyway, they set him up. Old Flash and Shashan, as Tom looked up on the old Google machine. And hey, this girl, she's down to fuck, but she's gonna be one of his students next week, so he can't do that. And he's all blue balled and like, well, fuck, I guess I'll go beat up on the black
Tom.
I see her. Meanwhile, old Joe Robertson, who's running the Daily Bugle now, he's turning into the fucking J. Jonah Jerklin, acting like a dick with everybody. And we finally see J. Jonah Jerklin too, wandering the streets. He's got amnesia, and a guy with fucking hypnotic glasses that you could buy in the back of a comic for like $1 or something. He comes up to him and says, "Hey, I'm your friend. Come with me." And yeah, that's it. That's it. I guess next week we're gonna find out why the Black Cat's been doing all this stealing and stuff. She's got motives, she says, that are altruistic, but we'll see.
What about all Robertson acting all fucked up and shit?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, all right, my bad. Sorry. I drank a 6-pack while we were doing this, so now I'm on my 7th, you see.
All right.
It's a good thing I don't have to edit anything. Yeah, next episode's going to be great. You can't. How did Batman steal all this shit from Spider-Man? That's what the fuck I want to know. They clearly ripped off the Black Cat for Catwoman, Joe. This shit's ridiculous. Don't even get me started on the Green Goblin Joker fucking shit. And Goblin, what's he goblin anyways? I don't get it.
Or the Captain Stacy Commissioner Gordon thing.
Gordon is a fucking fisherman. And what's going on with that other newspaper? He's teamed up with a lady now, like fucking the Enforcer.
Hey, speaking of which, the Frightful Four was supposed to be the story in Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man's, but those cabinet issues, they had a fucking filing cabinet just to save time.
Is that the one with Ghost Rider?
No, this was the one with
It's
fucking
like Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider?
Black Goliath.
Oh shit, that's right. African American Goliath. Or as Stan Lee would call him, Black Beep Goliath.
What a prick that guy was.
Yeah. Shishan, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like I read that shit and I said, fucking enough already. When Joe says it, I laugh. But this shit is ridiculous. What the fuck is Shishan? If it's a real name, fine. I'll live with it. But I looked it up and I swear to fuck, everything was just Spider-Man.
First of all, Sean's a dude's name.
Well, not spelled like that. Stan Lee thought, oh, I'll spell it like this and it'll be mystical. I asked him. That's how I knew. Before he died, I was just like, dude, what's up with Shishan? I thought it was mystical. And then he died. I said, oh, that figures.
That'll be $500, Tom.
Hey, Stanley, where were you living? Oh, shit. Better not tell old Jesse then. Fuck. Well, Joe, I watched a documentary on the Rainbow Coalition. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
You look like you would. Well, you clearing your throat? Joe.
Yeah.
You like lists?
Fuck no.
Why?
Because they're fucking dumb, Tom.
Why?
They're dumb. They're pointless. I know, like, one of the reasons you did this is because you probably looked up, hey, what do people like? They like lists. And so you keep on wanting to do a fucking list, Tom.
Well, I mean, this isn't your typical list. Try to do something at least a little different.
Right, it's atypical. So since Tom made it up, it's gay typical. Tom, what is our list this week?
Oh, just 5 underrated horror movies that we would recommend you check out.
Well, I can't check my messages, but I'm pretty sure that's not what you fucking said. But okay. You said 5 things that would get people into horror.
No, definitely not. I don't want to get people into fucking anything except your ass because it'll make me laugh. Joe was raped.
All right.
All right, Joe. So, what is your number 5 movie? Hey, you were trying to get somebody into horror, saying, "Oh, hey, I want to groom this kid to make him like what I like." What would you recommend, Joe?
So, on Tom's grooming list, I didn't just want to go with movies, you know, because I'm a bit more diverse than Tom. Tom's just kind of like, hey, this is what I like. This is what I like. Um, so if you're thinking of like, hey, I want to try some horror shit, but you want to try some horror books,
No.
the way to do that is get an anthology. You know that year they do, hey, the year's best horror, and they're short stories, so you can read those, and if there's an author that you like on there, and hey, fucking go get one of their books. It's the easiest and best way to do it. That's the way I still do it. I've been doing that for years, and it's always paid off for me. Okay, Tom, what is your number 5 movies that you would lure a little kid into your mask hole and to watch, and then you would like put a mask on him and get all turned on, and just keep watching the movie, kid. Just keep watching the movie.
Keep your eyes on the screen. Don't look back.
Don't look.
Keep biting that fucking pillow. So, an underrated horror movie that I would recommend to people would be the hit motion picture, The Boneyard. It's a very fun movie with some spooky scenes, a lot of cool monsters, and some fun gore effects that you'll probably have a good time with. I think a much better looking version than this DVD is streaming on Tubi, all nicely restored and just waiting for you to watch. So check out the fucking Boneyard. It has some cool ass creatures in it for sure. And like I said, I didn't say it. I said it about Creepshow. Not perfect, but pretty fucking close. The Boneyard.
All right, so like if somebody wanted to get into horror comics, I would recommend Ice Cream Man. It's a fucking weird comic. Got some odd shit going on, and like I don't even know what it's about half the time, but it's got a vibe to it. It's that's good. It's hard to do horror comics because all they want to do is just like, hey, this is a vampire. Oh shit, he tore off somebody's arm. That's not fucking scary.
Yeah, I guess kids do like ice cream there, Joe.
Well,
But
Tom,
another underrated horror recommendation that I would recommend would have been The Dead Next Door, but I figure by this time enough people have seen it and they've heard of it, but have you heard of Skinned Alive? A movie made by the same people that Rob Zombie stole the dynamic of the Firefly clan from. So if you want to see shit Rob Zombie stole, check this out. It's pretty funny. It's goofy as shit. This is, we talked about it before. You're more of the VHS era guy. I'm more of the DVD era guy. And this is one that I remember on DVD. But now it's on Blu-ray and signed and in a protective case. Like I give a fuck. But it's here. Check it out. I laughed.
that's Tom's number 4 underrated comedy movies.
I mean, there's gore and shit in it.
For 3, I have like hey, if you want to get into TV horror, probably the best shit I've seen, and this shit's like fucking 10 years old already. Is Channel Zero. I think this only ran 3 seasons. God damn, did this have a vibe to it? And it's there's no comedy involved. There's no fucking fart jokes or anything. So it's fucking horror. What it is. It's fucking horror.
What are some of your favorite episodes, Joe?
Each season is a storyline. So I'd have to say that last season, which was called Dead End House, maybe. It's been a while since I've seen it. Was fucking good. It had some weird shit in it. I dug it, Tom.
So, what are your favorite episodes, Joe?
3 and 7, because they're
Of
both.
which season?
Huh?
Of which season? At least we didn't freeze up. Tales from the Crypt. Well, Joe, my number 3 underrated horror movie that I would recommend that you check out is Bullets of Justice. Is it a horror movie?
No.
Planet Terror is considered a horror movie, and I would say this is kind of Planet Terror adjacent. I think this was actually made in Borat's home country, Kazakhstan. And it's about fucking people going into a town full of fucking pig people and filling them full of bullets. Shit's crazy. It reminds me of a mix of Planet Terror and Killer Tongue. Weird shit. I what? Wee wee?
It's weird.
Yeah, no, I mean it's some weird fucking shit for sure, but I dig it, and this release is a book, so
And,
Joe might like that.
and it's crazy.
It is. It's a wild and crazy kid of a movie,
It's a
Joe.
roller coaster.
And weird, strange. If only there was another word I could think of that means the same thing that wouldn't have me hung in the middle of the town square. But yeah, Bullets of Justice, so progressive. Look at that. It's a lady man with a mustache. I mean, if you don't watch it, you're probably not only homophobic, but
Mhm.
transphobic too. So, Bullets of Justice, check it out, or be labeled as one of those people and be done away with in the upcoming revolution.
All right, so that was Tom's number 3 on his list of pretend grindhouse movies, and so my next, if you want to get,
Movies to lure children in an unmarked van to.
I would say the Silent Hill video games are always good horror games. You know, they're real fucking horror games. You're actually going out there and like doing shit, getting some jump scares or whatever. It's not just you rolling around shooting shit. I love those kind of games, shooting shit games, but they're not horror games. They're fucking action adventure games. Silent, go for it.
So, my number 2 underrated horror movie that I would recommend to people was going to be The Boxer's Omen. But I've talked about that shit enough, Joe. So, The Seventh Curse. I'll rewatch it again soon, but I remember it being fucking awesome. It's like some kind of mystical fantasy movie mixed with fucking weird Asian horror, and there's just a lot of weird strange things in this one, Joe. Joseph, if that is your real name. But for real though, Jose Manuel, wild shit in this one, and would recommend it.
Okay, so that's Tom number 2 of his list of mystical fantasy Asian movies. And number 1, okay, if you want to get into horror movies, fuck, everybody has different shit that scares them. I don't know, you know? Sometimes I guess you're just fucking scared to be scared, so you just watch comedy. But I would say find a list. As much as I hate lists, find a list. Not a list like hey, here's the scariest movies or scariest moments in movies, because that's just gonna ruin the fucking movie for you if you haven't seen it. Just go online and find a list, not a video, a real fucking list, and read it. Go through some of them, and you'll see what kind of movies horror movies you like. You know, you might like the fucking paranormal type shit. You might like the slasher type shit. You know, everybody's different. Everybody has their fucking vibe and the shit that they like. You know, and you know, whatever. We're all fucking people, shitty people, but we're still people. You know, like if we were all in a vault together, shit wouldn't go good because we wouldn't all like the same movies, and it would lead to a fucking war. War, war never changes.
You should have said, what is it good for? You fucked up right there. All right, my number one, they're not in any order, but another movie, an underrated horror movie
Tom's
would,
number one.
would be Creep.
You.
Not
Oh,
Pube. Yes, Pube the movie. So this isn't the one about the furry wolf looking nutsack guy. This is one with a lady using I
love you.
think the mates call it the tube, the old British underground. Maybe I don't know, some mate shit, and it's subways, and there's a nut living down there. It's good shit. Check it out, or don't, or fucking don't. However, Joe, I couldn't be happier. You're in a much better mood this fucking week and
I,
went almost 2 hours and 40 minutes.
you know, it is my hope that you could be happier. You know, I always want you to be happier today, tomorrow than you are today, Tom.
Well, probably not, because now I'm drinking, but tomorrow I won't be. Tomorrow I'll be like,
He'll be thinking, and
no,
that's
I'll just be holding my head like that'll do anything. But
hey, at
no,
least you'll,
tomorrow I'll get back to the paint hole. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about life and who gives a good goddamn and what the fuck am I doing at it, and laughing at the idea of retirement and wondering when I'm going to die, how I'm going to die, and all sorts of fun things like that. And I said, you know what, Tom? Just stop giving a fuck.
life. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. Say it again now. Right? Good stuff. Hot stuff. Mm-mm. Hey, Joe, let me ask you a question. You like t-shirts?
I do. I do like t-shirts. And I'll tell you this, we got two fabulous t-shirts that
Hey,
were
Joe, let me ask you a question.
and they go all the way to up to 5X. So
Joe, let
listening
me
to
ask you a question.
3 to 5X and we got you covered.
We're going to edit this. Just let me ask you a question.
Yeah, ask me a
You
question.
like t-shirts?
No.
Head on over to fastcustomshirts.com. Hundreds and hundreds of t-shirts. All pretty good. Some of them, most of them, though, pretty good. And I'd be lying if I told you that Joe didn't fucking. I'd be lying if I told you that Joe. Yeah, I'd be lying if I told you that Joe didn't fucking make them all. Joe, you like masks?
Hey, when you're done with that, head on over to dwmproductions.net. Look, all these masks are made by Tom himself, and they are painted with despair, depression, and just the whole fucking angst of life. So you're not just getting a mask, you're getting fucking emotion and feeling. And you can put this thing on and you can probably feel that depression, that despair coming out. dwmproductions.net. Hey, and if you need custom work, check them out.
It reminds me of that song.